Hello, welcome. This morning I'm going to be showing you some props that you can create at home. I know a lot of us are on lockdown or lock-in in some way or other, and without the props that we get in yoga studios it can be a little bit difficult. So this little video is to show you how to get a bit creative with your props at home. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is a little bit of space. Space enough to lay out, so just enough for your yoga mat. So it doesn't have to be, in a spa or a sanctuary. It could be down the length of a corridor. It doesn't matter if you've got walls either side of you. It doesn't have to be laid down permanently. You could roll it up and have your mat tucked in the corner. It's nice to come back to the same space each time. So you don't need huge amounts of space, literally just the space that your mat takes up. And then the mat itself, remembering originally yoga, there was no mats or Lululemon or Manduka way back then. It was mainly meditation. So you potentially could do your yoga at home on nothing. You could do it on a wooden floor or a carpet. You don't need anything. You could put a towel on top of your carpet as well, but that can be a bit slidey, and certainly a towel on a wooden floor like this would be a bit slidey. So in those instances, you'd actually be better off with nothing. So just use nothing on the floor. The next sort of cheapest option would be a yoga towel. These are towels which have little grippy bits on the bottom, which will grip nicely to carpet, not so good on a wooden floor, and also very thin when it comes to kneeling. You might find it a little bit thin. The next option on top here, I've got a travel mat. Okay, so you can see this is very thin. The great thing about this is when the dogs come in and get their paws on it, this goes through the washing machine really quickly and really easily. So you can just get a very light travel mat. And again, putting this on top of a carpet is great because you've still got the padding of the carpet. Directly onto a wooden floor can be a little bit hard. So your next option then is to go and buy a proper yoga mat. Now, yoga mats, the pricing varies dramatically. So you can get them sort of for £5.99 in Aldi, or spend nearly £300 on a mat. I'm suggesting, unless you're going to become a yoga teacher or really taking your yoga seriously, then we sort of, hit a compromise, spending maybe £30, £40 on your mat. Don't go for the cheapest ones. They tend to start to shred after just a few goes, and then we're going to get plastic in our oceans and bits of shredding everywhere, and you just have to go and buy another one. All right, so get a reasonable quality one. There's Manduka, there's Jade. My personal favourite is the mats that are out now with yoga markings on them. This is a live form, but there are other brands out there now that have got the markings on them. So they have a line down the middle and indicators to where to put your hands and feet. So I love those because, I teach alignment-based yoga. So they're my favourites. This live form one I have down here is actually a travel version. And they do have a more expensive one, which is a really heavy one. Quite heavy to carry around though. Okay, so that's your mats. The next thing that I use a lot in class is taking a seat. So when we come to meditation, it's really good idea to have a bolster or some kind of cushion to put your bum on. And also bolsters come in handy for when you're doing restorative yoga and relaxation. So we can start from anything. You could grab a cushion off your sofa if you've got scatter cushions. This is you can see it's quite well worn. This is my little favourite. This is what I like to put my bum up on. This is just some soft filling of some kind. This one here is beans. Okay, you can see that's shaped towards your bottom and has a removable cover, which is pretty handy as well. But you can use your bed cushions, especially when it comes to these larger things when we start to lay back on them on restorative yoga. This is quite a nice solid one, but about the same length would be your bed cushion, and then you can just use other stuff to be anything to prop out the end where if we're using it at an angle. So just look around your house, get creative. Any old pillow will do, and you could even wrap them in a towel or something, put two together in a towel. That's quite easy. So you don't have to, these are quite expensive. You don't have to go out and spend huge amounts of money on bolsters and props. Okay, so if you're gonna, if you had a budget, I would suggest you spend more money on your mat and you know, make do with your other stuff. The next thing I use a lot of in class are blocks and straps. So let's start with blocks here. So you can see here I've got a couple of types. These are quite light foam blocks from Yoga Matters. I like these. These are like little building bricks. And these are the ones that I use in my classes. Not too expensive. You can also buy heavier ones. These are made of cork. They do tend to crumble over time. Mine are beginning to wear away a little bit. And if you are in the tropics in Singapore, these tend to rot as well. So you might be better off with the more plasticky ones. And they last a lifetime. They really do last a lifetime. If you don't have any of these, you can get creative. So you could, you know, we use them to lean on and spaces. So you could use your water bottle. You could use a baked bean can, which is quite nice because it's relatively heavy. So if you're using a water bottle, fill it up with water to make it heavy. You could use a couple of books, tie them together with a dressing gown cord or something, or maybe you've got a nice thick. Maybe, has anybody got telephone directories anymore? I doubt it. But you can use these also to sit on as well. So this will get adapted as a seat as well. So try and have two and try and have them the same for my classes, especially in the beginner level 1. We use these a lot and restorative. So get creative. Go and see if you can make something. Iyengar use wooden ones. So if you've got a little shed, go make yourself a yoga block. The other thing I use a lot as well is a yoga strap. Okay, so now you can use a dressing gown cord, skipping rope. Do kids use skipping ropes anymore? A rope, a piece of string, anything that you can lay your hands on, or, you know, a necktie. If you are going to be buying yourself one, two things. Get one that's more than 2 meters, because then I think the longest they sell is 2.4 meters. So see if you can get that one, because then you can use it for everything. Okay, and then some of them clip, and some of them have these D-rings. I'll just bring it closer to the camera for you, so you can see these 2 D-rings. This is my preference because we can then thread through, and it makes it a lot easier to extend or shorten your strap. Okay, so it makes life much easier, and it's a good firm connection there. So get the ones with the D-rings as opposed to a clip top tip there, and get these nice strong canvas ones, 2.4 meters, okay, or 2 meters, taller than you basically. Okay, and then again, when we come with, now this is more onto the niceties. If we want to come for props, other props and warmth, I often will use a shawl in meditation. So have something when you're stiller in meditation, you might get a bit chilly. So that's nice to have. A nice fluffy blanket for Shavasana. Or I haven't brought out here actually yoga socks. If when you're still and quiet, you might get colder, and you want to enjoy that part of the class. It's the best bit after all. And so get yourself a blanket and some socks to make sure that you're warm. Here, these are the sort of official proper yoga blankets, but you can make do with towels, these softer blankets. And again, these could double up actually, so you could fold those over, and then that could be a bolster. It could also be a cushion to meditate on. So actually one of these could be adapted into all of these. Okay, so these are quite versatile, quite large, and again, those will last you a lifetime if you invest in the proper yoga blankets. Okay. And then as we move on, it gets into the more niceties. So, you know, you really don't need all this stuff, but some of this is really lovely to have. I've got here, I haven't had one of these for years. I only treated myself to it recently, but it's really lovely to have a little bit of weight on your eyes. This one smells of gorgeous lavender, but that little bit of weight, you could obviously make one on your own. Just, you know, whiz up a little pouch and put some rice in it or something. Just as a little bit of weight there on your eyes to seal that in. It's lovely for Shavasana. Nice treat. Maybe put it on your Christmas list or birthday list. And then finally here, these are extra nice bits to have. So here I've got some incense. This is the my brand that I like. I got this in Covent Garden, but I believe you can now buy these brands on Amazon. They come in all sorts of different flavours. This is called Sunrise. There's one called Dragon's Blood. Sounds scary, but that's actually a really lovely one. Some of them are really stinky, but this one's a nice one. So you could light an incense stick to, you know, make the room feel lovely, and a little candle will make you the whole sort of ambience of the room. It's rather nice to do. Here I've got some oils, which this one's on a roller, so you can put some nice calming oil, whatever you need, on your pulse points. You can get these from lots of places. I suggest you choose one that is really organic and kind, because you're putting it directly on your skin. So try not to use any of the really cheap oils which you think, oh wow, that's a bargain. They're probably artificially generated, so just be careful, read the label and get something nice and natural. So too with these products. Okay, and then finally, it's really lovely to have a journal. This is a gift that a lovely student has given me. So it's lovely to journal your practice or your day and write stuff down, how you're feeling, what the yoga does or doesn't do for you, and see if you can shift and change. It's just lovely to keep a track of that. Okay, so that's all the equipment. Please do put in the comments below if you've got any questions. And now you've got your yoga props sorted out for taking online YouTube with me. I suggest you watch the next video, because that's going to tell you how you can set up a camera, etc. for when we do live classes together, and also when you are watching YouTube, how you can make the experience even better for yourself by setting yourself up nicely so that you can see me, and in a live stream I can see you. Okay, so do watch the next video in this link so that you can get that set up as well. I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing you either live stream or on these YouTube classes. Please click subscribe for me so that we can carry on YouTubing together. Okay, namaste.